Dragon Ball Kakumei is one of the best storylines in Dragon Ball fan manga community, and I wanted to cover this story for some time now, and I am starting the review of this story starting chapter 19, and as per the response on my videos, I will cover the rest of the story on my channel. If I get good response, I will start uploading previous chapters very soon, but if response is not good, then I might only cover future chapters of the story. I hope you guys will like my reviews and support me in making my channel a success. I am very consistent with my videos and will keep bringing you lots of Dragon Ball related stuff in the future as well, so if you like the video, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below if you have any suggestion for me. So without wasting further time, let's start with our chapter. We see the Admiral Fennel finally reaches Tuffles' laboratory, and she is holding Cheelai in her arms and Limo on her back. Admiral Fennel is looking towards someone, and we see that Cabba has already reached Tuffles' laboratory. He also sees Admiral Fennel and calls her. He also sees that Cheelai is in pretty bad condition. Admiral Fennel takes Cheelai's body inside, and Cheelai is hurt pretty bad and is bleeding profusely. Fennel calls someone and tells them to be careful, as she is in an extremely unstable state, and asks doctors to do something to save her life quickly. We then see Bulma, who is also in Tuffles' lab, and as soon as she sees Cheelai, she screams, "Cheelai, no! What happened to her?" Then Fennel takes Cheelai's body to a bed, and we see that a doctor has put an oxygen mask on Cheelai's face, and Bulma is watching all this from sideline. Cheelai is currently in very bad condition. The only thing that is good is that she is not lost, and as long as she is alive, there is a chance to get Berserker Broly in control. Bulma says Cheelai is in a critical condition, but she's still with us. Let's be optimistic. Admiral Fennel says, "We didn't see it coming. This monster got what he wanted, and here we are in this situation." Then, we see that Caulifla is also in the room. She says, "If only we could have been there to stop him." She is also feeling really bad for Cheelai's condition, as she was coming towards lab to save Bulma, as per order from Vegeta. Cabba says, "No, Caulifla, Mr. Vegeta asked us to protect Mrs. Bulma, and we followed the orders." Then Bulma asks Fennel, "Speaking of which, I haven't seen any trace of a demon around here." Fennel is also surprised because of this. She says he left long before us. It's amazing that he hasn't arrived yet. Caulifla says, perhaps he decided to back out when he saw he was being chased. But Cabba is skeptical. He says, "It seems to me unfortunately very unlikely, considering what they have shown to be able to do until now." Then Scion named Parsa enters the room and goes to Bulma. He tells her, he went around the building and isolated all the people at risk. The building is almost empty now. Bulma then thanks the young man. Bulma asks Parsa, "Did you feel any evil presence where you went, by any chance?" Parsa says, "Fortunately, or unfortunately, no, I have no idea where that demon is." But before he could complete his sentence, Parsa finds himself in a dark place. Everything around him turns dark, and he wonders what's happening. Parsa says, "What the hell is happening?" Then he hears a voice from behind him. "Parsa, so that's your name." We see that this voice is of Salaga, the henchman sent by Admirial for the task of killing Bulma. Salaga says, "You may not be remembered, but you will at least be recognized as my first victim here." Suddenly something happens to Parsa, and his body becomes stiff. Now he is unable to move. Salaga says, "What? Can't you move? It's rude. I have to come to you, in that case." Salaga is now standing next to Parsa, but Parsa is unable to move, and he cannot do anything. Salaga then comes in front of Parsa. He says, "I am only an executor. The Venerable Heir ordered him to take care of this Bulma, and Parsa is currently an obstacle in his way of completing that task given to him by Admirial, the Venerable Heir." Then an evil expression comes on Salaga's face. He says that his only concern is that once he takes care of Parsa, that will give an alert of his presence. But anyway, he had to act sooner or later. Salaga says, "So, let me tell you, Parsa, that I will be indebted to you the day we meet in the afterlife." Then with a very powerful slash attack, he puts his hand in Parsa's chest, and this creates a big hole in Parsa's body. Parsa shouts in pain and starts coughing blood profusely. But this does not go for very long, and finally, Parsa's eyes become lifeless. He is finally dead. Salaga was doing everything inside the mind of Parsa, so outside no one is able to understand what suddenly happened. But Parsa now has a huge hole in his chest. He is now lifeless, and his body is on the ground. Bulma shouts, "Oh no!" Admiral Fennel is also shocked and shouts Parsa's name, but to no avail. Caulifla and Cabba now understand what's happening, and they become alert. Caulifla says this scum is finally here. Cabba says, "We must immediately move from here. He is after Bulma, not Cheelai." Then we see Admiral Fennel turn Super Saiyan and tell everyone that Cabba is right. She then holds Bulma's hand and starts running. Cabba, Admiral Fennel, and Caulifla all start running out of the room protecting Bulma from Salaga. But Salaga is still nowhere to be seen. Then scene changes, and we see an underground facility where one person is counting the people around. These all people look like they all are here as refugees. The person who was counting counts till 78, and then says if someone has the slightest problem, don't hesitate to tell him about it, so he can take care of it. A beautiful woman is watching this man doing all this. This woman is none other than Bulma's first scion friend, and the person in charge in this room is her husband. The woman says, your father seems really committed. Anyway, I sincerely hope that Bulma's doing well. I don't see her with us. The woman is with her son, and tell him that she is worried about Bulma. Suddenly, her son feels something, and he quickly stands up. The woman is unable to understand what her son is doing suddenly. But the young man looks determined. He then jumps out of that place, leaving everyone behind. The mother shouts, what are you doing? Then we come back to Cabba. He is running in a gallery, but Bulma, or anyone else, is not with him. He stops, and we see Caulifla is also running towards him, as they both were checking the whole area. Cabba asks, did you see something? Caulifla says no, then asks, and you? But suddenly they hear some painful voices coming from nearby. These sounds are coming from Admiral Fennel. She looks like in a lot of pain, and her eyes have also turned white. Bulma is very scared and says no. Cabba and Caulifla quickly runs towards Fennel. Cabba says, this bastard's doing the same thing to the Admiral Fennel that he did to Parsa. We must stop him. Fennel is still unconscious and is in pain. Then we see that Fennel is also in the same dark place, and Salaga is in front of her. He says, you can see me? Good. You will be my second victim. Congratulations. Salaga then holds Fennel by head, and is about to do the same thing to Fennel that he did to Parsa. Suddenly something happens that shocks Salaga. And in physical world we see, Caulifla has suddenly hit Fennel on the face with a punch. And this shocks both Cabba and Bulma, but what the purpose of Caulifla for doing this? We then see that in Salaga's mind trap, Fennel starts to disappear. Salaga says, oh I see. In the physical world, we see that Fennel is now conscious again. She has a smile on her face. Even though she was hit by Caulifla just a few seconds ago, then she thanks Caulifla. Then suddenly something starts to happen. Right next to Bulma, Salaga starts taking his physical form. And Bulma is still very shocked to say anything. Once Salaga's physical form is complete, Salaga says with a smile, how did you know? Fennel again turns Super Saiyan. She says that she knows enchanters like him. The worst that can happen is that they hypnotize us and make us powerless to move. Therefore, she warned her comrades that they must be careful to always stay together, and to react quickly if one of us is caught. Fennel then looks towards Caulifla and says, bravo Caulifla, you knew how to take advantage of Admiral Ruba's teachings. You had to act quickly while thinking about how to parry spells of this level. Caulifla smiles because of this praise, and says, it's true that Big Fatty has taught her a lot of things. She simply acted in the best way possible at that time, thinking that a strong enough shock could break the spell. While that may sound pretty reckless, but it worked. Then we see Salaga with a very evil smirk. He is looking towards Bulma behind her, and with murderous intent. Bulma is also looking very scared, and she is also frozen with fear. Salaga says, replying to Caulifla and Fennel, that such a powerful magic is bound to have backlash. Indeed, well done. But he is exactly where he wanted to be. Bulma is now in grave danger. Will Salaga be able to complete his task given to him by Venerable Air? Or will Cabba and Caulifla save Bulma somehow? This will be disclosed in the upcoming chapters. Till then guys, tell me, did you like the chapter? And also my explanation. If you have any suggestions, please comment down below, and don't forget to like the chapter. I will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.